Now, I wanted to ask you about this scenario, Ben. Let's say we both start an online dynasty, and we're both offensive coordinators at one-star programs. And then you get a head coaching job first, and then we have a head-to-head matchup sometime down the line. You're the head coach controlling all aspects of your team. I'm still an offensive coordinator, only in charge of the offense. So what happens when we play head-to-head? Do I have to sit there and watch you play against my AI defense? How does that work?
So in a head-to-head situation, we decided to open it up and allow both human players to control the entire team. So it'll feel and play just like a regular old dynasty game where you're the head coach, even though you really are only the coordinator for the rest of your game. So it's kind of rather than just limit you in what you can do, we open the whole game up for you.
Oh, okay, I see. I was curious how that works. Okay, so user versus user games, you'll then control the entire team. Okay, that's good.
Uh-huh.
That's good to know. Have you guys increased the amount of teams, or is it still 12 for Online Dynasty?
It is still 12 for an online dynasty. That's the number of human control players we can have.
Do you guys find that 12 is the right number? Because I know you guys collect data and how how many teams play online and how many online dynasties finish. I mean, what do your stats show? Like, what is the average online dynasty? Are you familiar with those numbers? Like, is it 6? Is it 9? If it was a higher number, would you guys look at increasing it, or is it at the point where you don't feel it's high enough to justify increasing it?
It's interesting, actually. We have there is a big request to increase that number. It's a small vocal community that really want to see more and more. We find most of the time it's not more than 3 or 4 people in an online dynasty together.
Okay.
And then it kind of goes to the most are single user, one user playing in a dynasty with themselves. And then there's a couple, 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then it starts ramping down to where you don't really see a spike again until you get up to that 10, 11, 12 number. So there aren't that many, 7, 8, 9 members in a dynasty. And so with that, you're seeing the desire to have more and more members in a dynasty if possible. So 16. And then that's kind of the next point, and then kind of moving on to eventually, I could see at some point a full 120 human-controlled dynasty being an available option. Now, trying to manage that schedule and get everyone to play their games and advance through, that's a different story. But the desire's out there, so it's something that we kind of are looking at. It's a technical challenge for us to get over the current number of 12, but I don't see any reason why we wouldn't at some point.
Wow, 120. I would not want to be the commissioner of that one.
No, not at all.
I have a hard time whipping 11 other guys into shape. I tell everybody, like, come on, save your highlights for the Dynasty Wire because I want to put together like a Plays of the Week package, and nobody listens to me.
Sure.
They just, we'll just do the photos. That's enough. I'm like, no, save the highlight. I'm like, you could do it in game. As soon as you score a touchdown, just save that one measly highlight, and that's all I ask. They can't even do that. Being the commish, it's hard work. And
it's hard. Yeah.
There's no pay. There's no pay. I mean, send me a Microsoft card or something. Oh boy. Anyway, where are we here? We're still talking about Online Dynasty. We're joined by Ben Haumiller, producer of NCAA Football 12, which will be in stores again on July 12th for the PS3 and the Xbox 360. And Dynasty Wire returns, I assume. Dynasty
Wire returns. The dynasty.easports.com website is back completely. You can still do your recruiting on the web, but also we've added a couple of new additions as well. You can play your game versus CPU on the website through a new app called Advanced Super Sim, where you can actually call individual plays, make substitutions, and actually play out basically every play of the entire game from the web, no matter where you're at. So you don't need to come home and fire up the console to play your game versus CPU. And so in that given week where you're on a CPU game, if you want to, you never even have to go to the console because you can play your game and also do your recruiting right there from the web. So it's kind of giving you access to be in touch with your console, with your dynasty, no matter where you're at. And the second part of that is for commissioners, giving the ability to advance the week from the web. So now as a commissioner, you don't have to run home, turn on your console, go into the dynasty just to advance so that everyone else can keep playing. You can just do it right from wherever you're at. And so those are both kind of premium additional features we've added to the website that are great additions for you as far as being able to access your dynasty no matter where you're at and keep things moving.
Yeah, and I saw that on your blog as well, Ben, and that's something you said it's a premium feature. It's going to be 240 Microsoft points, $299, but well worth it. Well worth it. Now, and I'll tell you why, because I'm someone who is a commissioner of multiple dynasties, and I work in the evening. So I'll be sitting at work, and I'm on the computer at work, and I'm logging on to Xbox.com, and I'll get messages from the other guys in my dynasty saying, hey, Kush, we're done, ready to advance. And it's 7 o'clock, and it's like, well, I can't advance till I get home, around midnight. Now, with this feature, I can advance at 7:05, and everybody else who has normal working hours, who's home, can play their game. So by the time I get home at midnight, maybe 6 or 7 teams in my dynasty would have played already. So that's a great feature.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, as a commissioner, you typically are the first one done every week. You advance the week, you're right in there, and you do your stuff, and you're done, and you're just waiting. Yeah. So in that situation that you're describing right there, let everyone else keep moving. And you can go in and complete your task for the week as soon as you get a chance to, and it's just a chance to continue the dynasty. That's the one thing we always want, is to limit those things that slow the dynasty down and have potential to just kill a dynasty because it gets stagnant and no one's making any advancements.
Yeah, and the Super Sim, being able to play your game online, it's not as good as playing your game on your console. But again, you have situations where, the leagues I'm in, we've gone 5, 6, 7 years. We have the same guys every year. And during the course of those dynasties, guys go on vacation. They go away for the weekend. They have to go away on business. Now this is a way, instead of just, leaving their game up to chance in the simulation, at least now they can have some sort of control with the Super Sim app. I mean, how much control do you have with the Super Sim app, by the way, Ben?
You can control your depth chart. You can view stats. You can make substitutions on a per-play basis.
Oh, okay.
You can call individual plays, or you can just let it simulate for you and call plays for you if you'd like. So since it's versus CPU, you don't have a play call, a play clock. So you can take as much time as you want to really get players just the way you want them for the play. And get everything set strategy-wise of what you want to do, and take as long as you want to get the game done.
Yeah, and there you go. And that's a much better option than just letting it sim, especially when you go on vacation.
Yeah, just let it roll.
Yeah, because I have a guy in my league. He's so hardcore. He travels a lot. He brings his Xbox to the hotel with him, and he plays. Now, at least, if he didn't want to drag his console around, now he at least jump online and do it. That's huge. That's huge.
And and with the combination of both those features, you could have a dynasty where you're playing an online dynasty on your own, and you never go to your console. You start the dynasty from your console. You go to the web, you do your recruiting, you play your game with the CPU, advance the week, and start it all over again. You can get through a season in a workday. Not that I advocate playing the game while at work, but
I didn't even think about that. That is absolutely brilliant. I can sit there and do a dynasty while I'm at work on my computer, or while you're in lab at school or something. Not that we would advocate, doing a dynasty while you're in class or something like that. But wow, that's a nice way to get through the workday. Just fire up my own one-team dynasty while I toil with Illinois, and there we go. That's good to know. I probably will take advantage of that now that you mentioned it. Ben, I want to talk a little bit about recruiting now. Any changes, tweaks you made to recruiting? I know that I saw a video of you from E3 where you're talking about player progression. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, the focus this year was mainly on the coaches, and so with that, I don't have any great groundbreaking new recruiting topics to talk about, but there are a lot of kind of tweaks along the way to it. And so, based on your coach's prestige rating, will determine how much each player can reach their max potential for progression each off season. So the higher your rating, the better your players will progress each year. And so that's a nice addition there, kind of tying it to your coach rather than just to the program itself. In addition to that, too, a lot of the recruiting pitches are dynamic now based on your coach. So things like coach loyalty, for example. If you're someone that's just going to hop around from job to job to job and never stay anywhere more than a year, your rating is going to go in the tank. And so you won't be able to recruit, when you're recruiting, you won't be able to use that pitch, and other schools will be able to use that pitch against you when they're talking about, to a prospect or where that you're going to school. They'll be able to bring up the fact that you can't be trusted to stay at that job for more than a year, so why would you want to go there, and kind of add that element to it as well. So, and a lot of changes as far as, how the CPU will actually offer scholarships. They'll be a lot smarter now about offering scholarships earlier in the process instead of trying to drive someone's interest up first. And so with that, a lot of the better players are going to get signed up faster by the CPU, so you have to work a lot harder to get them, and it's not as easy as it has been in the past.
Now, when you mentioned that you won't be able to use that pitch, you won't be able to use it in the sense that it won't even be an option, or that you'll have like a rating of a D- and you probably wouldn't even want to bother using it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's what I mean is that you probably wouldn't want to use it because the rating would be so low. Yeah.
Oh, I see, I see. And now, have you guys made tweaks to that too? 'Cause I have a guy who I played with in a dynasty, and his one complaint was that I've won like 4 championships, yet my what would it be, not conference prestige, but just overall school prestige wasn't going up at all. Have you guys tweaked that to where it reflects the on-field achievements, the attributes when it comes to recruiting?
Yeah, you should see a nice tune to those ratings so that it makes it a lot more. It makes more sense each season why they're going up or going down. There are certain ones that just kind of stay consistent throughout the entire dynasty, like academic prestige. We have no real way of giving a good indication of why that would be going up or going down. So that stays around the same the whole time. But yeah, a lot of those, like your conference prestige or your team prestige, or championship contender, fan base, things like that, are all based on what's happening on the field.
One thing we did talk about last year, we wondered why Notre Dame's conference prestige was an A+. Shouldn't it be an F? They're not in a conference, right? Or what was the decision?
They don't need to be, though. That's the difference.
Really?
They're the one school that doesn't need to be in a conference, so that's why they get the benefit of that.
Oh, so they're so special that we don't have Notre Dame. We're not in it. So will BYU have an A+ conference prestige?
That's a good question. I believe we didn't. We put them as, I believe, a B for this year. We kind of let them tread water a little bit.
I did not expect you to have those memorized, so that's good. I didn't think just to throw a random school and ask you one of the attributes, and for you to know that. That's good. I'm keeping you on your toes, Ben. I'm keeping you on your toes.
I'm trying. Yeah.
Road to Glory. Want to touch on that. Last year really went untouched, but you guys made a lot of changes and upgrades to it this year. Again, a mode I can't get into that much because I play so much online Dynasty. I did play a season of it last year with a quarterback at UCLA. I think I won an award, actually. I think I did it to get I think I got an achievement. I can't remember what it was. I think it was passing for 20 and rushing for 20 or something like that.
Okay. But, we did have that one last year.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
It's a great mode to get some achievements too. We've got some nice ones in there for you.
Yeah, a lot of people have been asking me about it, and I told them I was going to ask you. So what can people expect with Road to Glory for NCAA 12?
So we made a lot of changes to Road to Glory this year, and a big overhaul to it because we, as you had said, it didn't get much attention the year before, and it kind of was a mode that had got a little stagnant as far as what you had to do and what was new to it each year. So we decided to kind of revamp a lot of the elements of the mode, and so we started with the high school experience. So we've expanded that so it's not just the senior season playoffs, high school playoffs. It's actually your full senior season that you can play.
Oh, really? Okay.
And with that, you have a full 8 to 12 game schedule, and you can utilize our team builder feature to download teams to be able to be as your opponents for that game, and also for yourself. So you could theoretically go through and recreate your entire high school senior season. Download rival schools and the other schools in your area, download your own school for yourself, and play a season as a high school player for your high school versus all the schools that you played in your real high school. And along the way, for the first time, you can be an Iron Man, so you can play both offense and defense and get recruited at both offensively and defensively, so that you're throughout the course of the season racking up stats and getting scholarship offers and interest from other schools. And it comes time to make that decision. Do you want to play quarterback in college or play on the defensive side? And so you kind of had that option throughout all of your high school season to decide which side of the ball you like more.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And that's something people definitely take advantage of, recreating their whole high school experience, reliving the glory days, going back in time, like Uncle Rico. I just watched Napoleon Dynamite yesterday. We just go back.
It's so funny. That's when we were talking about doing it. That was the same joke we all made. Is that if we could go back, we'd take state. So you get a chance to go back and do that. And then once you get to campus, actually, it's all about earning your coach's trust. And with that, it's all about determining their actions on the field to determine how much confidence the coach is getting in you. And so that's both moving up the depth chart, and then once you become the starter, it's earning extra abilities like the ability to call an audible or call hot routes or flip the play at the line. And those are all things that you don't have by default, but you can earn. And then if you start making mistakes, the coach can actually take those things away from you. So it's kind of a fun aspect of being able to get to that position to where you're now able to call an audible. I'm a quarterback. I don't want to run the ball. I throw an interception. The coach comes over basically and says, all right, well, that was fun. Now you have to be able to earn that trust again, So you have that ability. You also have position battle. So you can not only move up the depth chart by winning a position battle over the person in front of you, but you can also be charged from behind of, a young and up-and-coming player might try and take your position away as well. So just because you're the starter doesn't mean you're firmly entrenched as a starter until you've established yourself as such.